Yeah, he's boastful. I think his God is the material things, money, everything like that. I'm pretty with him because I want to share the word of God in him. If he be
crazy, people are always in my fucking business, worried about what I'm doing, what Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got. Just know, I'm gonna stay in my lane. I ain't gonna fuck with nobody, and I don't want nobody fucking with me. If I go on vacation, my fault. When I go on vacation for 30 days, I take 30 watches with me.
Educated in school, I'm educated in life. I know how to survive.
There you go.
Nobody has taken none of my properties away from me.
Right.
So I still got all my houses, I still got everything. My mother, and my whole family, they bills still paid.
Right.
I still pay all my employees. And just look around, my team, they still paying their bills. My mother's house is paid for. All my properties are paid for. My grandson don't want for nothing. I'm happy with that. As long as I'm able to eat every day, pay my bills, and travel and do the things that I want to do, and I don't have to get up and punch no clock and work for nobody, then that's my comfort. A lot of times they say, oh, it's this lawsuit, it's that lawsuit. One thing about me, whoever I get involved with, as far as with business, I get myself out of the situation. Nobody see me in no soup line, and I ain't been out on the streets begging like my hands is cups.
The tables have turned in dramatic fashion. Manny Pacquiao is making headlines after appearing to mock Floyd Mayweather in a recent video, reacting to reports that Floyd allegedly suffered a $150 million financial setback. The same Pacquiao whom Floyd once dismissed is now at the center of the conversation, as fans debate whether this is a subtle response to years of rivalry. This is not just another chapter in their legendary feud, it feels like old scores resurfacing in a whole new way. Stay with us, because this story has everyone talking.
One king. June 27th, only on DAZN.
I give it all that I got.
Steven Cordano, Carolina Sports for Fight Hub TV, right?
Within the world of boxing, few rivalries have matched the magnitude of Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. Their historic 2015 showdown became the richest fight in boxing history and remains one of the sport's defining moments. More than a decade later, their rivalry continues to capture attention, shaped not only by what happened inside the ring but also by the business decisions, financial headlines, and lasting consequences that have unfolded beyond it.
The worst month of his life, and it just got worse. Just the other day, June 18th, a new lawsuit filed against Floyd Mayweather and his business partners Frist Apex Ventures, filed by CSI Entertainment and their other entities in the state of New York. I released 2 videos recently covering this story. This is now the 3rd in the trilogy about Floyd going broke, having issues with felony charges, and now...
Recently, Manny Pacquiao released a new video in which he appeared to address Floyd Mayweather following reports of significant financial setbacks involving the undefeated former champion. His tone remained calm and measured, yet the message carried considerable weight. Pacquiao spoke about the long-discussed rematch while expressing hope that Mayweather successfully works through his reported challenges. The comments resonated because they came from the man who once stood opposite Mayweather in the biggest event boxing had ever witnessed.
Or he wants an exhibition with me, but I disagree, and I don't want to fight with exhibition with him. I want to fight a real fight like this. So this is it. This is what I'm waiting for.
Mayweather Jr. sure used to talk a lot of smack about Muhammad Ali. To turn around and be in a situation that is apparently worse than Muhammad Ali was in, as Floyd Mayweather Jr. is suing all of his business friends.
Manny Pacquiao built his legendary career on discipline, relentless work ethic, and constant movement inside the ring. Even at this stage of his life, he continues to follow a training routine that many younger fighters admire and study. His recent comments come at a time when Floyd Mayweather's business dealings are facing increased public scrutiny. Reports have claimed Mayweather is dealing with alleged financial losses estimated at around $150 million or more. Those reported figures remain part of ongoing legal disputes and allegations involving former business associates, financial matters, and civil lawsuits that continue to generate widespread discussion.
His latest situation is him being sued for how he did not uphold his end of the bargain with what we had seen promoted with the Mike Tyson and Manny Pacquiao fights that were supposed to be happening. Floyd Mayweather is being sued by a boxing promoter who claims they paid the legendary pugilist $4.65 million in advance money for mega fights against Mike Tyson and Manny Pacquiao, only for Floyd to walk.
Mayweather has publicly pushed back against the speculation, insisting that his core assets remain secure and that he continues to meet his responsibilities to his family. Even so, the discussion surrounding his finances continues throughout the boxing world. For years, Floyd Mayweather carefully built an image centered on success. The money brand became one of the most recognizable identities in sports, defined by private jets, luxury cars, lavish spending, and blockbuster exhibition events. That image brought extraordinary rewards, but it also attracted intense scrutiny whenever financial questions emerged. Reports involving canceled events, payment disputes, and business management issues have all become part of the ongoing conversation. Dana White offered a different perspective, expressing respect for everything Mayweather accomplished while building his fortune. The UFC president also suggested he would be willing to help if necessary, pointing out that professional athletes can experience dramatic financial changes despite years of success. His remarks reflected the viewpoint of someone who has witnessed countless careers rise and fall from inside the combat sports industry.
Has he created a lifestyle that he can no longer keep up?
Yeah, I think so. Hopefully this situation gets rectified, especially when it comes to having people around you, having other people in control of your finances. That's a no-no, Joe, that's a no-no.
Man.
That is a big no-no, especially with the kind of cash flow
Not
Floyd
no blank,
having.
though, Ocho. You know you can't sign anything blank. Ocho, when they come to us and they try to get us to sign these blanks, when it comes to our autograph, no, bro.
Bob Arum offered a broader perspective on the situation. The veteran promoter pointed to the long-term risks associated with maintaining an extremely expensive lifestyle, explaining that constant luxury spending can eventually create serious financial challenges regardless of how much money someone has earned. Having watched generations of fighters rise and fall, Arum's comments reflected decades of experience rather than personal criticism. Adrian Broner, meanwhile, responded with loyalty. The former champion publicly expressed his support for Mayweather, even saying he would be willing to help if the situation ever required it. Broner's reaction highlighted the strong personal relationships that often exist within boxing, even when public opinion becomes increasingly negative. Other commentators approached the story from a different angle. Jason Whitlock and Rick Glazer focused on the Money Mayweather brand itself, arguing that the image Floyd carefully built over the years may have contributed to some of the current scrutiny. They pointed to issues such as business decisions, legal expenses, financial management, and changing relationships within his inner circle as possible factors. Others, however, continue to believe that investment losses, business disputes, or disagreements with former associates are more likely explanations for the ongoing controversy.
Former fighters seems to be having money issues. You know, Floyd, his fight just got canceled in Greece. His fight with Mike Tyson might get suspended. Obviously, Pacquiao just got pushed back as well. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that whole situation?
Well, it's very, very sad. But, you know, Floyd had a great career. He made a lot of money. But in his mind, that made him a great genius, great business genius.
Reports also emerged about alleged private conversations involving individuals once considered part of Floyd Mayweather's inner circle. In one widely discussed recording, Al Heyman and Leonard Ellerbe were reportedly heard speaking about the situation in a way that some interpreted as reflecting concern or growing distance. Whether those conversations represent genuine changes in loyalty or were simply informal private discussions remains uncertain. As in many areas of professional boxing, relationships behind the scenes are often complex and difficult to fully understand. Meanwhile, plans for a potential Mayweather-Pacquiao rematch have reportedly been delayed. Contract negotiations and Mayweather's ongoing legal matters have been cited as contributing factors. Pacquiao has said he remains hopeful that both sides can work toward a new date, possibly sometime next year, emphasizing resolution rather than confrontation. The situation also raises broader questions about legacy in boxing. Mayweather retired with an undefeated record after earning hundreds of millions through strategic matchmaking and careful promotional control. That remarkable success established a standard few fighters have matched, but it also created expectations that can be difficult to sustain after retirement. History has shown that the discipline required to dominate inside the ring does not always guarantee success in business. Investments can lose value, advisors can make costly mistakes, and the expenses of maintaining an extravagant lifestyle can eventually outpace even extraordinary earnings.
Something like $4.65 million for the exclusive rights to air both of those fights, the Mike Tyson fight and the Manny Pacquiao fight. They say that Floyd took the money and then basically just disappeared on them. Said, okay, I'm going to take the money, I'm going to cash the check, but I'm not actually going to allow you to, again, broadcast the fights. And this company, it's called CSI Entertainment, they have now filed the lawsuit, and they have essentially said, Floyd needs to give us that money, and not just that.
Pacquiao ultimately chose a different direction after reaching the peak of his boxing career. Alongside competing on a selective basis, he devoted much of his time to politics and public service in the Philippines. Although his own finances have occasionally attracted public attention, he has continued to project an image of stability, purpose, and long-term commitment beyond the sport. The contrast between the two legends is striking. Mayweather built his legacy through defensive brilliance, business strategy, and precision inside the ring, while Pacquiao became known for relentless pressure, relentless work ethic, and his close connection to the people who supported him throughout his career. Both reached extraordinary heights, and both now face the unique challenges that come with life after boxing. Even so, uncertainty remains the defining factor. Legal matters often require time to resolve, with outcomes depending on court proceedings, negotiations, and private agreements. Mayweather has overcome difficult situations before and has repeatedly found new opportunities throughout his career. Whether that pattern continues will depend on many different circumstances. The current delay also demonstrates how quickly outside factors can reshape even the biggest plans. For now, Pacquiao continues training while expressing his readiness for future opportunities, and Mayweather remains focused on addressing his current affairs while insisting that the foundation of his business empire remains secure.
More legal trouble for the undefeated boxer who we have talked about a lot over the last year, was set to come back and get back in the boxing ring with two massive events. One against Mike Tyson, and the second, a professional fight against Manny Pacquiao. A rematch, of course, of the fight we saw a decade ago. Well, there is a promotion company that is suing Floyd Mayweather.
Boxing has always balanced glory with uncertainty. Fortunes can be built remarkably fast, yet they can also change without warning. The current discussion surrounding Floyd Mayweather serves as a reminder of that reality rather than a final chapter in his story. Careers created under the public spotlight inevitably face public scrutiny. Every decision carries consequences, loyalty is often tested, personal brands come under pressure, and legacies continue to evolve as time passes. Pacquiao's recent video does not focus on celebration or ridicule. Instead, it comes across as a measured message from one legendary fighter to another during a challenging period. That sense of restraint is what gives the comments their impact. Meanwhile, legal proceedings continue, and conversations throughout the boxing world remain active in gyms, boardrooms, and among fans. As history has repeatedly shown, boxing rarely delivers simple endings. More often, it reveals moments of perspective shaped by pressure, experience, and the lasting consequences of every decision.
Some pretty serious implications, not only for Floyd's legacy, but also for how networks and advisors handle fighter compensations. Mayweather wants hundreds of millions back plus punitive damages, pushing this beyond a simple accounting dispute. If the court rules in his favor, it could open the door to more scrutiny of boxing's behind-the-scenes financial relationships. So this is kind of nuts, man. Wow, taken aback, surprised by this. I'm thinking,
What happens next remains uncertain. Whether resolution comes inside the ring, through the courts, or in private life, each path carries different meaning for both men. Boxing continues to be shaped by the influence of money long after the final bell has sounded. The postponed rematch also carries implications that extend beyond the fighters themselves, affecting promoters, broadcasters, and the wider boxing industry. Meanwhile, Manny Pacquiao continues preparing with the same quiet discipline that defined his career, beginning his days with early morning runs through the familiar streets of General Santos City before moving into technical training sessions that remain closely connected to his local community. Publicly, he rarely discusses his personal finances, choosing instead to emphasize faith, preparation and staying ready for whatever comes next. Those who know him well say he has learned valuable lessons from both successful and difficult business experiences. His approach reflects a belief that lasting success depends on maintaining balance between achievements inside the ring and responsibilities beyond it.
Karma up in Floyd Mayweather's face for all the smack he talked about Muhammad Ali and how Muhammad Ali's name was only worth $50 million and he sold half of his name for $50 million and how he's made so much more money and that makes him all of that. Talked about how Muhammad Ali, I'm sure, or I don't know if he did, but I'd heard, talked about Floyd. Yeah, he did, because he talked about his money and how he had to sell his name because he didn't have his money.
Mayweather, by contrast, continues making selective public appearances. Exhibition bouts still provide both visibility and substantial earnings, but they also continue to spark debate over where the line between true competition and entertainment begins. Some analysts believe those events help him remain active and maintain his sharpness, while others view them as practical responses to changing financial circumstances. Regardless of the perspective, they have allowed Mayweather to stay in the spotlight while larger professional opportunities remain uncertain. Younger fighters are watching these developments closely. Rising prospects training in gyms throughout Las Vegas and Los Angeles now approach management agreements with greater caution. Many continue to view Mayweather's decision to promote himself as a groundbreaking achievement, while also recognizing the challenges that can arise when business control becomes more complicated. Trainers report an increase in discussions about financial literacy, and advisors are placing greater emphasis on diversified investments, long-term planning, and careful legal oversight. Whether seen as an example of success or a cautionary lesson, Mayweather's experience is influencing how the next generation prepares for life beyond boxing. At the same time, industry executives are evaluating the broader implications. Promoters who once relied on Mayweather's unmatched drawing power are reassessing financial risks with greater care. One major stakeholder described the current period as a test of the systems built during boxing's biggest earning years, arguing that if even historic fortunes can come under pressure, then every contract and business decision deserves renewed attention. The discussion has unfolded without widespread panic, but with growing recognition that the economics of professional boxing remain as demanding as ever.
And because he overrated life, he ran out of money. You can't, no matter how much money you have, you can't have 2 big planes, 10 security guards. It's going to cost you money. I mean, so again, I'm really sad to see that happen, but
international perspectives add another layer to the story. In the Philippines, Manny Pacquiao's influence extends well beyond boxing, with many citizens following his career and public service with deep national pride. His ability to balance athletic competition with political and community responsibilities has become an example for many athletes across developing nations. Supporters view his measured comments regarding a possible rematch as a sign of maturity gained through years of competing and negotiating at the highest level. In the United States, however, reactions remain divided. Many longtime Floyd Mayweather supporters continue to defend his business instincts and point to previous moments when he overcame difficult situations, believing he will resolve the current issues and move forward once again. The physical realities of boxing also shape the conversation. Fighters who continue competing into their 40s face increasing challenges, including slower recovery, accumulated injuries, and the mental demands of staying at an elite level. At that stage of a career, preparation becomes just as much about preserving the body as delivering top performances. Both Pacquiao and Mayweather appear to recognize those realities, yet each continues to approach the sport in his own way. Meanwhile, uncertainty surrounding a potential rematch continues to create speculation, as discussions over timing, weight, officiating, broadcasting, and financial terms would all need to be resolved before any event could move forward.
So he only got $13 million out of that 100? Yeah.
Somebody else
According
took the
to
jury.
TMZ, Floyd says roughly $100 million worth of bling was handed over to Miami jewelers, more than one, for only $13 million in return. It says a huge chunk of the collection is still sitting with the jewelers, with the dealers.
You got to understand too, Joe. Diamonds. When you purchase diamonds, it's like cars. Once you walk out that jewelry.
Each passing month continues to test the patience of both camps. Fans remain divided in what they hope to see next. Some want a final chapter inside the ring that brings closure to one of boxing's greatest rivalries, while others worry that outside circumstances could reduce the significance of such an event. Regardless of opinion, the possibility of a rematch remains a constant topic of discussion throughout the boxing world. Many observers have also begun looking beyond the headlines to consider the human side of the story. Public images of extraordinary wealth can create a sense of distance, but moments of adversity remind people that even legendary athletes navigate complex financial, legal, and personal responsibilities. Family commitments, business obligations, employee salaries, and charitable work often remain hidden from public view, making it difficult to fully understand the decisions made behind the scenes. As training plans continue to evolve and legal matters gradually move forward, the boxing community watches with cautious interest. The conversation is no longer focused only on undefeated records or unforgettable highlights. It now includes leadership, responsibility, long-term planning, and the discipline required to preserve success after the cheers fade. Boxing has produced countless champions, but far fewer have successfully managed the transition that follows retirement with lasting stability. Ultimately, the story of Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao reflects an important truth about greatness. Winning championships can create extraordinary opportunities, but only wise decisions can protect them over time. In the end, a lasting legacy is shaped not only by unforgettable nights inside the ring, but by the choices that define everything that comes afterward. Whatever resolution eventually arrives, it will reflect both the decisions already made and those still waiting ahead, adding another meaningful chapter to one of boxing's most remarkable stories.